Mike Pence warns North Korea, do not test Trump's resolve. The U.S. Vice President, Mike Pence, has warned North Korea not to test Donald Trump's resolve over its nuclear and ballistic missile programs, adding that the U.S. and its allies were running out of patience with the regime. Noting that Trump had recently ordered a missile strike against Syria, the vice president, who is in Seoul at the start of a tour of Asia, said, North Korea would do well not to test his resolve. Pence, standing alongside South Korea's acting president, Hwang Kyo-ahn, said Washington's commitment to its ally was ironclad and immutable, and repeated that all options are on the table, including military action, to forestall North Korea's quest to produce a nuclear weapon capable of striking the U.S. mainland. Any use of nuclear weapons by Pyongyang, he added, would be met with an overwhelming and effective response, a day after the regime conducted a failed missile launch. Earlier on Monday, during an unannounced visit to the heavily armed border separating North and South Korea, Pence said the era of strategic patience is over with North Korea and urged China to use its extraordinary levers to pressure the regime into abandoning its nuclear and ballistic missile programs. President Trump has made it clear that the patience of the United States and our allies in this region has run out and we want to see change, he said. We want to see North Korea abandon its reckless path of the development of nuclear weapons, and also its continual use and testing of ballistic missiles is unacceptable. Pence said Trump was hopeful China would cooperate, adding, but as the president has made very clear, either China will deal with this problem or the United States and our allies will. U.S. officials warn tensions with North Korea are coming to a head. Read more. Pence arrived in South Korea amid claims that Sunday's missile test might have been thwarted by a cyber attack by the U.S., and warnings from Trump's chief security advisor that tensions on the Korean peninsula were coming to a head. Pence told U.S. military personnel it was humbling to be at the Demilitarized Zone, DMZ, a 2-mile-wide, 4 kilometers, strip of land that has come to symbolize the standoff that has defined relations between the North and South since the Korean War ended in an uneasy truce in 1953. 2 North Korean soldiers watched Pence from the northern side of the military demarcation line, one of them taking photographs of the vice president. My father served in the Korean War with the U.S. Army, and on the way here we actually saw some of the terrain my father fought on alongside Korean forces to help earn your freedom, Pence said in an address at Camp Boniface. We are grateful to all of those who each and every day stand in the gap for freedom here at the DMZ. It is a testament to the unshakable bond between our people. Pence will offer similar reassurances to Japan, the U.S.'s other main ally in the region, when he visits Tokyo on Tuesday as part of a 10-day Asia-Pacific tour that also includes Indonesia and Australia. China's foreign ministry spokesman said that tensions needed to be eased on the Korean peninsula to resolve the situation. As declared repeatedly, the current state of the Korean peninsula is highly complicated and highly dangerous, Lu Kang said in a briefing, responding to a question over North Korea's failed missile launch. The point we have consistently made is that each country involved should refrain from behaviors that provoke one another and fuel their tension further, and that they should make efforts to ease the tense situation on the Korean peninsula. The weekend passed with no sign that North Korea was about to conduct a nuclear test, with the country instead marking the anniversary of the birth of its founder, Kim Il-sung, with a huge military parade that included dozens of missiles, including one experts said could be a new type of intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM. Despite its failure, Sunday's missile launch was seen as a test of Trump's resolve after the president warned that he had not ruled out military action against North Korea and sent a U.S. aircraft carrier battle group towards the peninsula. On Sunday, Trump's national security advisor, H.R. McMaster, appeared to confirm the view that the unprecedented show of naval force, which will take U.S. ships to within several hundred kilometers of North Korea's nuclear test site, was intended to pressure China to do more to rein in its neighbor. McMaster indicated that Trump was not considering military action at this point, but would continue to work with China to peacefully resolve North Korea's nuclear and ballistic missile programs. The consensus is that this problem is coming to a head, McMaster told ABC's This Week program. It's time for us to undertake all actions we can, short of a military option, to try to resolve this peacefully. We are working together with our allies and partners and with the Chinese leadership to develop a range of options. There is an international consensus now, including the Chinese leadership, that this is a situation that just cannot continue. McMaster added, however, The president has made clear that he will not accept the United States and its allies and partners in the region being under threat from this hostile regime with nuclear weapons. North Korea watchers said they expected the regime to continue its ballistic missile program, possibly including a test on an ICBM, a move that would dramatically increase pressure on Washington to act. Daniel Pinkston, an expert on North Korea at Droy University in Seoul, said Sunday's missile test was a strong signal of defiance. North Korea has a long-term development plan and strategy to acquire reliable nuclear weapons and reliable delivery systems, Pinkston said. Acquiring such a capability requires testing. I have no reason to believe North Korea will cease testing until they have high confidence in the reliability of the nuclear warheads. And I have no reason to believe they will cease missile flight tests. Missile development requires flight testing. Officials in Washington played down suggestions that Sunday's missile, which exploded seconds after it was launched, had been sabotaged by a U.S. cyber attack. Asked if he believed the U.S. had used cyber warfare to bring down the missile, the Republican Senator John McCain, who chairs the Senate Armed Services Committee, told NBC News, "I don't think so, but I wouldn't rule it out." Earlier, the former British Foreign Secretary Sir Malcolm Rifkind said cyber attacks had worked in the past, but he could not say if sabotage had been behind Sunday's failure. There is a very strong belief that the U.S. through cyber methods, has been successful on several occasions in interrupting these sorts of tests and making them fail, he said in an interview on BBC Radio. A White House advisor traveling with Pence told reporters en route to Seoul that the U.S. had good intelligence before and after the launch. Had the North conducted a nuclear test, other actions would have been taken, the advisor added, but did not offer details. Pence attended an Easter service with U.S. military personnel soon after he arrived in Seoul on Sunday. "Let me assure you that under President Trump's leadership our resolve has never been stronger, our commitment to this historic alliance with the courageous people of South Korea has never been stronger, and with your help and God's help freedom will ever prevail on this peninsula," he told troops at the U.S. Yongsan garrison. Referring to the North Korean missile launch, Pence added, "This morning's provocation from the North is just the latest reminder of the risks each one of you face every day in the defense of the freedom of the people of South Korea and the defense of America in this part of the world. Your willingness to step forward, to serve, to stand firm without fear, inspires the nation and inspires the world." Agencies in Seoul contributed to this report.